Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Genesis chapter 32 verses 1 and 2 says this. Now as Jacob went on his way, the angels of God met him. Jacob said when he saw them, "This is God's camp." So he named that place Mahanaim. It's a very mysterious set of verses, especially set in the book of Genesis. Now, the book of Genesis is a book that is embedded in human history, and it's embedded in the earth and earthly things, things that happen historically on the earth. It starts out with the creation of the heavens and the earth. But as you go through the book of Genesis, there's also another line that runs through the book of Genesis. Not only things in connection to man and earth and history, but also this other line, the spiritual line, if you were, that's mentioned from time to time. We see it with in Genesis chapter 6, when the sons of God came down and looked at the daughters of man, and they went into them, and that whole scenario that went on. We saw angels visit Abraham there, the occasion where he was sitting on his tent in the heat of the day, and they came and visited him. We saw angels visit also Lot. And now we see Jacob also seeing this camp or this company of angels. And it came at a very critical time in Jacob's life. Jacob is in a rough spot at this point. He kind of gets away from Laban by the skin of his teeth. Laban was not happy, but the Lord came to Laban and told him, hey, don't speak good or bad towards Jacob. Basically, leave him alone. And so Laban, after they have a few words with each other, Laban leaves and goes back to Haran. But now Jacob's got to face another difficulty, and that is he's got to face his brother. And the last time he saw his brother, it wasn't good. He had deceived his father, that is Isaac. Jacob had deceived Isaac into giving him the blessing, and Esau was hot. And Esau was just waiting for Isaac to die and for the days of mourning to be over so that he could kill Jacob. And that's the last that Jacob knows about Esau. There was no email or FaceTime or texting that went on in that day and age. And as Jacob's been gone for 20 years, that's the last thing that he remembers about his brother. And now he's got to face him again. But how much encouragement must it have given Jacob to see this camp of angels? And it puts an impression on his heart so much that he names this place Mahanaim, which means two companies or two camps. Could mean either one of those things. And basically saying, hey, my camp's here, but also the camp of the Lord is here. This camp, this company of angels. Which gives us time to reflect on the fact that there are two realities in existence. And sometimes we forget this. We mainly just see the physical. We see what goes on around us. We see the sky, the trees, the ground, the plants. We see people as we interact with them, houses and buildings and cars. And if we're not careful, we'll begin to think that that's all that exists. Even though by faith we may believe that more exists, it's just that we don't really think about the more. We just think about the things that exist on this earth. Genesis 32 verses 1 and 2 here gives us a good opportunity to remind ourselves that there is another reality, that there is another camp, that all of us experience a Mahanaim. That is, all of us are living in the midst of two camps. There's what's going on physically here on this earth, but there's also what is going on spiritually behind the scenes. Paul talks about this in Ephesians chapter 6. In Ephesians chapter 6, there Paul wants to remind his readers that the things that they're dealing with, the struggles that they have, go beyond just this world. This is what he says in verse 10. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the full armor of God so that you will be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. So there Paul recognizes the fact that the things that are going on this earth are directly influenced by the things that are going on beyond this earth, in the spiritual realm. And he wants his readers to remember the fact that there is that other reality, and to engage in spiritual activities that will help them better face those different things. And he describes it by putting on these different sorts of armor. And it kind of is concluded with prayer. Praying at all times. We need to pray to the Lord and recognize the fact that there is things going on that we can't see, things that we don't even really know about in particular, but we know the Lord who is in control of both camps. And we can go to him and pray to him and ask for strength, that he will not deliver us into evil, or not deliver us into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Not lead us into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. And that he will protect us and guide us and lead us in the way that is good. And to recognize that. But on the other side, not just that there's these evil forces, but on the other side, as what Jacob saw, there's also angels that are working for our benefit, that work for the Lord, who go out and do his duty, and who are sent out to render aid to those who love the Lord. So we need to recognize that as well. We have a God who is the Lord of hosts, the God who is the leader, the head of a massive army, so big that we can't even count it, just multitudes and multitudes of angels that he has at his disposal. And we should take courage in that as we face things in this world that maybe strike fear into our hearts, as we look at the future, maybe with anxiety. Remember that we pray to a God that has a myriad of angels, mighty host of powerful spiritual beings at his disposal to come and render aid to us. So as we do our reading today, and as we're going through the book of Genesis, and we're learning about historical figures, and it's just saturated in humanity and earth, things in connection to the earth. Let's not forget also that there's another line going through Genesis as well that reminds us that there is more beyond this world. And we need to remember that, and we keep that in mind as we pray to the Lord, as we engage in the things of this world, recognizing that the things that are going on in this world aren't necessarily influenced just by the things of this world. As Paul talked about in Ephesians chapter 5, there's some other forces at work, and we need to be cognizant of that and prepared for that as we live before the Lord. So that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.